Hey everybody! Welcome to Winter's Taking Forever, the show where we recap Game of Thrones, the show that you know at least a little bit.
This is the second to last
episode.
penultimate episode of this season.
And usually in the this series, the second to last episode is where like everything happens.
Did anyone else feel like in those opening few scenes, I was like, they're gonna start a boy band?
Again, it's because I think they've run out of time.
Right.
Where it's just like, well, now you and I got to split off and have a moment, and like now we're cool.
Yeah.
All right, now you and I. All right, now we're cool, and just like all these like very quickly, just like getting it out of the way. We're friends now. It's fine.
It was cool for Jon to meet Jorah finally.
Yeah,
because he had
that was the
all that
scene.
History with the old bear Mormont, and then giving him the sword and
Oh,
everything.
Bear. Jon Snow and Beric, I want to say.
Yeah,
having that conversation.
Lightning Lord,
they stop immediately together, and in my head, I was like, one of you should be like, no, I'm gonna keep.
We're on a timetable.
Like,
Like,
we can't just stop.
We gotta drag a dead dude like
But no, they're both
long way.
They're both like, no, we need to stop, and both agree that we need to protect the world.
Yeah,
like
Beric, who was the cheerfulest I've ever seen him in
Yeah,
that
he's
scene.
in a good
like,
mood.
Smiley
he's like,
dude.
He's like, yeah, I've died however many times. It's f***ing awesome.
He loses Thoros.
Loses his dude,
and
yeah.
he's still fine. He's
He
like,
lost William Hurt.
I forgot to realize until after it happened, I was witnessing a conversation between two zombies. There's like 8 types of zombies in Game of Thrones.
yeah, and they're one and the same. They're the same
kind
kind.
of the same.
They're basically the same, yeah.
The Hound at one point says to him, he's like,
You lost your priest. This is your last life.
then he's like, yeah,
I know.
I'm excited about the prospect of dying.
Every time he gets brought back, he loses
He's
a little bit
losing,
more
yeah.
of himself. So he's just
So he's not.
No, that's why he's so
super
happy.
excited.
Kind of lobotomized.
Yeah.
Like, all right,
Which
let's f***ing fight these ice fellas. Okay, let's talk about the Winter Girls now. So we spent a lot of time beyond the wall in this episode, but we do return to Winterfell for a little bit to see Arya and Sansa and their sort of conflict that's been going on of two sisters that definitely hate each other, even though maybe they should bond over their shared pain. And like everybody knows that Littlefinger is full of shit and bad.
or at the very
right?
least,
like,
at the very least, is like not to be trusted.
right? Yes.
Like-
yeah.
my favorite character.
But but the Arya stuff struck me as weird for 2 reasons, and the first reason is that we haven't had a sense that her hatred of Sansa has been like simmering this entire time, because we really haven't
Season 1.
seen it since season 1, exactly, when they were just butting heads. It's weird because it doesn't feel earned, and I guess it's just the sense because we haven't seen these two characters together in 7 years.
Right.
The other thing that's strange is the main thing that we've learned the main thing that Arya has learned on her entire story arc, as you know, as she's become more self-reliant, learned how to be a faceless man, everything, is she learned about shades of gray. Like she learned about everything's not necessarily black and white. Like she rides with the Hound for a while. She takes him off her list.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't kill the Lannister soldiers.
She didn't kill Lannister
Right.
soldiers at the beginning of the season. She didn't kill the actress she was supposed to kill.
She has her own morality.
Yeah, she has learned that not everything is as simple as you are my enemy, therefore you must be destroyed. Like she has shown that she understands that there's nuance to things.
Right.
Everyone treats Arya because she's a beloved character and actress, but no one brings up that she's a crazy person who cuts faces off.
She's a crazy murderer.
So like the idea of her being a moral vigilante and like having like I have my own moral code. Everyone's like, yeah, that's super reasonable, but no one really
She kills
talks
people,
about
takes
how
the
like,
crazies.
Yeah.
oh, is this unreasonable person who we've been proving for 7 seasons that she's kind of unreasonable and kind of like roguish,
I knew it wasn't wrong. The rules were wrong.
Yeah,
is gonna disagree with her sister about a random shit that's like, that feels weird?
Okay, yeah, that's true. She does have a history of getting herself into lots of trouble over making snap decisions.
Yeah, just randomly,
Like,
just like, I'm gonna kill you, okay. I'm gonna make a pie out of your family.
her bag of f***ing faces was great, though.
I really want to see the scene where after she like cuts, I want her to cut a face off while I'm watching, just because I want to be like, yeah, you for real do that, you crazy person.
Yeah.
But then she has to like wash the backside where all the
Like
tissue
shred
is,
it.
Right.
Yeah.
and shred it and like make it nice and polish it.
Right,
It's just like what?
Imbue it with magic, I guess.
I guess
where-
because like the
Magic.
eyes were clearly like shut. So how do you put it on your eyelids?
It's magic, bro.
Yeah.
By the way, I mean, I'm jumping ahead, but to the end of the episode. But
fine.
while we're talking about like silly magic, there's a discrepancy that the internet has found out about, which is that how does the Night Kings like turn you into a white zombie.
I think
like,
it's zombie
bitten?
rules, yeah.
So-
Because there's a difference between like the zombies and then like the blue-eyed.
Okay.
Right.
So-
Blue eyes are touch. So like the baby got touched, turned into a blue-eyed.
I think I could be full of.
Polar
Explain
bear.
it to us in the comments.
I'm fairly certain because like even the like
'Cause I don't know.
the brainless guy that got hit with a rock.
Right.
It was a skeleton.
Yeah.
That's just a zombie.
Yeah,
that
his
like,
eyes
got
were-
bit,
he didn't have
died,
any
eyes.
and like was risen. But like the actual like the White Walkers and the dragon.
The blue-
That is
that's
like
a touch.
I have to touch you
Like,
and you
you're
become.
a baby, you're a dragon.
That's how he spends
I
the
got
good
you.
magic. That's why the bear had blue eyes. She was like, I'm gonna use some of the good magic. My other favorite thing about the Night King is when the dragon shows up, he doesn't even like blink. He's just like, all right, I got something for that. He just had a guy ready, like
And-
a caddy, just ready with his like.
Right. It's just like, yo, spear.
Spear.
It's Viserion that dies, and he bleeds a lot. Like, that was
Yeah,
a
he bleeds way
very
too much,
effective
yeah.
spear. Someone mentioned earlier today, there's a lot of Deus Ex, like
lot of
dragons,
Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex, Benjen.
Benjen
There's,
shows
like-
up again.
Yeah, and he's just basically plot development. He
There's
doesn't-
also like a lot of like Deus Ex like John's like I'm gonna fight some zombies for a while.
Right, where he
you
clearly
didn't need to
hasn't-
fight those zombies.
Like we had enough time for this.
Right.
Like we see when Drogon takes off, he knocks all those fucking zombies back. And then the same thing with Benjen, where he's like, go. He's like, get it. There's no time. Yeah, there is.
There's
Get up
super
on
time,
the
man.
horse.
They are over there
You
right
haven't-
now.
You haven't seen John in 7 years.
We're on a horse.
Yeah.
Like one issue that I think we all sort of share with it is and we've talked about the pacing a lot, but specifically I think this episode was maybe the worst example of it because the tension of the events was lost because of the way they paced it out, where like you have, these characters, oh no, the zombies are coming. They're gonna get on this island. Okay, now they're gonna wait, and they're sending a raven to get Daenerys. So the entire episode, I know, okay, so they're gonna wait for a while, and then eventually Daenerys is gonna show up and blow everybody up with fire, and then even when Jon like falls in the lake, we're like, okay, well Jon's not gonna die. He's the guy that doesn't die. We had a whole scene earlier about this, so he's gonna be fine, and we know that. He gets out, Benjen comes in, saves him, and he goes off, and then we have Daenerys on the wall looking out and going, no, we have to wait another minute. It's like, wait as long as you want. Jon's definitely coming back. He's Jon Snow. There's no suspense there for the events that are gonna happen.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been cooler to have him ride the other dragon out, because then it'd be
That'd
like,
have been really cool.
because he's he's Targaryen, and then he's gonna be one of the dragon. Like if he had been able to get on top of the
Yes.
other dragon, I was
Especially
like,
if
I was
he-
expecting that. To
Right.
happen.
Well, now there's-
You're literally the Song of Ice and Fire. Get on a dragon. So let's get into the hot goss. For real, Dany is totally crushing on Jon.
There was
And-
like so many shots of like
That was-
hands touching hands.
But
But
it was
even
like-
the Tyrion and Dany scene where they're like by the fire, literally like gossiping about like Jon totally likes you,
Yeah.
and she's like giggling about it.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
well the way you
definitely.
talk about Jon,
And like
it's
she was
like,
super weepy in that scene where he's like, there was a lot of really cool parts of that scene because like she sees that he's like totally.
Oh, that was
fucked up.
great. Yeah.
So she's like,
Stabbed
oh, the
to
thing
hell.
that was a callback from a few episodes ago, that totally happened. You totally died. And so she's realizing that, so she understands how selfless he is. She saw the White Walkers. One of her dragons / children died. So she's got a lot emotionally going on. And she's just like weeping, and it seems like the dominant form of like the weepiness, or like when she really like Emilia Clarke actually like leans into it, is like, I'm worried for you. Please survive. Like I miss
Yeah.
you, which is the newest of all of those concerns.
Yeah.
The newest thing in her life. So they're like, obviously the scenes where they're like, I fucking all through the season
in the
are like
cave.
very effective to her, apparently, to the narrative. Like she really
cares. Yeah.
really cares. Definitely thought that Dany was gonna die in this episode. There was like
Really?
a moment. Yeah. Even though I know she's got plot armor just like Jon Snow.
No, yeah.
I was like, this might be the most like George R.R. Martin moment that could ever happen, is right when everything is lined up and no one is really like, Thoros and Myr died, but like there should have been a lot more death.
Yeah, they had a lot of red
A lot
shirts.
of
And
red
I was
shirts,
like, they're
yeah.
holding back. And then when the Night King like grabbed that spear, I was like, why go for just a random dragonfly, and why not go for like the
Yeah.
heart? So there was that one moment where I was like, you know what? I think they're gonna kill off Dany or kill off Jon Snow, and it's just gonna like throw the rest of the episodes out of whack, and everyone's gonna be like losing their shit.
Yeah.
And that would of course be the perfect Game of Thrones thing.
Right. I think that's actually a good example of how Game of Thrones isn't as subversive of the traditional narrative as it's sort of claimed to be for so long?
It can't be at this point. Like, it's gone
Right.
on for too long. So,
Yeah.
like, in the early seasons, it still could be because we still weren't sure who the main storylines were going to be. So he could just take a character away and be like, oh, well, what happened? But now that we're getting to the end stretch of it, it's like,
Oh no, John's a
we
hero.
know
The
who the main-
hero.
yeah, you kind of, otherwise,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have much of a
Right,
story.
and even like you look back and you're like, okay, oh, I can't believe they killed Ned Stark. Well, yeah, he's Obi-Wan. Speaking of all the stuff we just talked about, predictions. I think we're gonna finally find out, like officially find out. Like I think probably Bran will give this information that Jon is a Targaryen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also his mom is his aunt.
Yeah.
And his mom is who he thinks is his aunt, and his crush is his aunt.
I think they're going to convince Cersei to fight the Night King with them.
That's gonna happen.
You think it's gonna
There's
work?
at least gonna be the scene where
I
that
think
is-
so.
So they're all gonna meet in this area and like talk about the real problem, and then Cersei's gonna just blow everyone up,
Right. That's
church style, and
Including
then the
yourself.
show will be over.
stranger things have happened.
The
in
twist
this
is
show.
there's no final season.
right.
Wall's probably coming down.
Yes.
That is, in fact, I'm calling it right now. That is the final shot.
Yeah, the last thing we'll see is
right
the wall
before
coming
it
down.
cuts to credits. It's gonna be the wall coming
Wall
down.
Ice dragon.
And
Yeah.
Ice dragon, and he's gonna fly through, and the shot's gonna be like looking
It's
up
gonna be-
at the Night King.
Fucking
Yeah.
metal as shit.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe by clicking the big C in the middle of your screen, and also hit the bell icon to get notifications, and also other stuff. I can keep talking?
No.
No.